Hey guys, my name's Rod. Just thought I'd jump on this YouTube thing, and got a few things to say, like a lot of people, I suppose. And sometimes we just think no one gives a shit, and no one wants to hear what we've got to say. So I thought I'd put a few things up. Um, I do have a Instagram page, I think it's called. It's called Ride with Rod, and basically it started just with taking some action footage while riding with the boys, about man parking around here, around Adelaide. Um, and then so I didn't go too far with it because I'm not real good with all that sort of stuff, as you can see by this video. Yeah. Um, but yeah, I thought I'd do this because I feel like I've got a few things to say about a few different subjects and things I'm passionate about. So I thought I'd put some stuff up and see how it goes. People like it, they do. If they don't, that's okay. Not really too worried. So yeah, a little bit about me. I'm 48. Originally from Queensland, born and bred up there. Then moved around a lot over the years, and eventually came down here to Adelaide in December '09 with an ex-partner, and that split up. And as it does, life moves on. You try different things, and I met a good chick, and so I'm with her for 8 years now. So longest relationships I've ever had, and I'm lucky to have her. She's pretty good. Puts up with me, and all my stuff that I've got going on. Having to deal with all the negativity shit that I carry around with me from my life. But she's a good chick, puts up with a lot of stuff. And yeah, so I thought I'd try to do this sort of thing because I've got 48 years on this earth. So, I survived this long in spite of the shit that life throws at you. And I've done okay, I suppose, to get this far. Got a house, got a couple of toys. Still got skills from my trade, which I've decided that I didn't want to do my trade anymore. So now I just do home handyman stuff, which I find is more satisfying because you're actually helping people instead of lining the pockets of companies and boards and all that sort of crap. So I find it more rewarding because at the end of the job you get a thank you from most people. They appreciate that you've helped them out, you've done things for them that they haven't been able to do themselves. My partner hates that I'm doing it, I think, because I'm not bringing in a massive wage or a good wage like I was. But I'm far happier as far as my work life goes now, and I can't. I find it hard to think, going back to working in factories and that sort of stuff, doing factory maintenance or fitting and turning work that I was doing, which is my trade basically. Like making the choice to change and get away from that was hard, with the pressure from my partner, and understanding how she feels about things. But I was miserable doing what I was doing. I hated it every day. I wasn't happy going to work. I hated it like you wouldn't believe. For several reasons, it wasn't satisfying as far as what the work was. I wasn't using any skills that I'd had accumulated over 30 years. I was just doing really basic stuff, and some people like that. I don't. I need to get my brain working, and I wasn't doing that. So I made the choice to quit that. It started in what year was it? October 2019. I started the process of becoming self-employed. So I was doing a full-time job as well as doing the home handyman stuff, and then had a couple of good clients that were really patient with me and worked around my schedule with my full-time job, and then rolled on through to end of January 2020, and I quit full-time and started doing business, which I had plenty of work at that stage, but then COVID hit and screwed everything up. So it was awesome. Thanks COVID and the world, China, whoever bloody caused it. Cheers, man. Awesome. So then I had a few weeks, well, a few months really, with bugger all to do, and put a lot of pressure on the relationship and the accounts and all that sort of stuff. So it made life hard for a while. So then I started looking around different other avenues to try and get some money in, because I had a bit of a plan, before COVID, and then plan went out the window as soon as it happened. So a lot of work stopped, and so I'd say try and bumble on through. So got lucky with the being able to use your super. A lot of people think it's really stupid to move, but that's what I had to do to keep going, keep paying the bills. Didn't waste it on anything. Just paid the bills and kept living. And then got my tax back. That helped a lot. So I was relying on other stuff rather than work, which isn't good, but that's what happened. So seeing how things go now. It's March 2020, 2021. God, I'm out of time. And things have started to improve. I had some work lined up to go to the mines and do a bit of work, but due to whatever reason, the recruitment agency hasn't stayed in contact with me to let me know what's happening, and that's, I don't know why, but whatever. But I've had a few other job options that I've looked at and put applications in for, so we'll see what happens with that. I don't know how I'd go now, having been autonomous and have being able to set my own work schedule. I don't know how I'd go now going back into full-time jobs, but I'll see how it goes. Like the right opportunity comes, it's rewarding and you get paid well for what you do, well then sure, it might be worth the opportunity and chance to do that, but we'll see what happens. Some of my passions, like I said, push bike riding, it's probably saved my life a few times through my life, as far as mental state and being able to keep going through life and just keep pushing day at a time and just enjoy going out for a ride and totally switching off from what other pressures are going on around the place. Because when you're out there riding around the bush and single track stuff and big jumps and that sort of stuff, if you're not concentrating or relaxed and in the moment, you're gonna have a crash. It gets pretty hairy out there at times, some of the tracks we go to. I've been doing this since 1985. I got my first mountain bike, so I'm a veteran in all senses of the word as far as mountain biking goes. I've been doing it for 35 years something, 36 years. So I've got a lot of experience and skill, and that's probably what gets me through. As you see behind me there, I've got a Gravity Enduro number plate from a couple of years ago. I got 9th in the I think it's called Masters class that year. I'm pretty proud of that one actually, because I rode 7 times for the entire year, and that included the 5 races. And to get 9th with only 7 rides, that's not bad. I'm pretty proud of that. I'm not proud of much, but and the only thing that really got me through that was just experience, and just the amount of time I spent riding through my lifetime, and the places I've ridden. Cairns, Brisbane, down here in Adelaide. There's some pretty hairy tracks if you go looking for them, and I've ridden them, so and I've survived it. I'm not fast, I don't do big jumps and stuff like that much, but I can find my way around and I can survive tracks, so that helps a lot. So with the guys that I go riding with around here in Adelaide, there's usually about 4 of us, maybe 5 or 6 sometimes, depending on who's available. I'm usually lead out rider, and that's mainly just, I suppose, just my experience. I've been doing it a long time. So if it's a new track, I tend to lead out, and it's usually pretty safe. No one usually, we haven't had any really big crashes with the guys that I ride with. So that's one of my passions. Another one is driver education and advanced driver training, mainly as that. I started out, like most people, thinking, oh yeah, cool, I've got my license, I'm good to go. But I started out my career, well, it's life on the road riding motorbikes, and so as soon as I got my license, my riding instructor said, right, now that you've got your license, let's go teach you how to ride properly. And so having spent a lot of time at the racetracks when I was a kid with mates with supercarts and things like that. I know my way around. I'm pretty comfortable on tracks and stuff. So I went and did a couple of track days, and then did some advanced rider training at those track days. So I get some education and tuition, and that helped a huge amount. And so I transferred that once I got my car license into going and doing some advanced driver training. And once again, especially growing up in Brisbane, and that's where I learnt to drive. There's a lot of traffic. It's not as bad as Sydney, Melbourne, obviously, and big cities like that. But it helped a lot. It saved my life many times. Both being able to, accident avoidance and that sort of stuff and car control, but also being able to read traffic and things like that they teach you. So that's something I'm passionate about. I've got a lot of stories about that stuff, and I'd like to, do some podcasts on that and see if I can't persuade people to go and get some advanced driver training. Especially with a lot of people that have kids that are just getting their license. There's a lot of avenues that people don't really know about or don't understand that are there, or don't even think about for their kids to help them survive on the roads. And so that's what I like to try and get some sort of awareness about. There's a lot of those of us who've been and done it. We understand how much better a driver and how much more comfortable you are in situations that are a bit hairy, like wet roads and fog and that sort of stuff. Once you've had a little bit of training, extra training, and your skills have been lifted a little bit, you'd be surprised how much better and how much more comfortable you feel in situations that other people are just panicking or they're just really slow and tentative on the road. I think it's a misnomer that we need to be taught defensive driving. Personally, I don't think so. As a species, we are defensive because that is our survival mechanism. That's how we survive anyway. So we don't need to be taught for defensive driving because that's what we do, and that's why a lot of people have crashes, because they're too defensive. Sometimes you need to get on there and understand what your car can and can't do, and what yourself can and can't do. So that's passion. I'll get onto that a lot bigger sort of video another day. So at the moment, it's just that one. Another one I think for me is how clubs handle new members, like sporting clubs especially, how they handle new members. I think I've been really disappointed over the years with sporting clubs that I've been involved with, how they do or don't welcome new members, and how they contact people who have had issues and can't turn up to meetings at times. I've got a couple of stories about those, I can assure you. I'm really disappointed, especially down here in Adelaide, with how I was treated from the motorcycle clubs that I tried to get involved with, like for racing and stuff like that. So I've built myself a bike that I hope to get on the track again, but I just haven't had time or money to do. So, but part of that's the lack of interest from the clubs. There's no support out there for people who just want to try and have a go, and without having to spend a lot of money on bikes. And that'll also tie in, the money with bike things will also tie in with the driver training thing. So I'll talk about that. So that's a bit of a rant, just to introduce myself, and try and start this journey down the road of doing videos and stuff. Yeah, let me know what you think. Any suggestions and topics that you might want to talk about, or opinions from someone who's been around a bit, another one I forgot to say was, having had my parents split up pretty young, when I was pretty young, and then seeing the effects of domestic violence and psychological abuse that I saw my mother subjected to a lot through my life. I'm very well up to date with what's going on and how it affects people long term down the track, not just immediately, because it affects people in ways that you just don't think about. And so I will talk about that as well. I've got quite a bit of experience with it, so that's I've got something to say. I'd like to say it, because I've kept quiet most of my life because I think most people don't give a shit what I've got to say. But I've proven several times through my life that I've got a bit of an idea, and my opinions quite often aren't wanted by people, they think I'm just an idiot, or they don't know what I'm talking about. But I've got a bit of a clue. I've survived 48 years on this earth, in spite of being close to suicide in 2003. Very close to ending my life, just because of where I saw my life going at that time. And then then I made a change, and it saved my life at that time. So yeah, I'll talk about that as well, because it's something not everyone wants to tell their story about suicide, and I'm happy to, because I've survived, considering it and being extremely close to it. I was within 2 days of doing it in 2003, and that's just a bit of luck that someone rang me and saved me at that point, because I felt completely worthless and that no one gave a shit. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, that's enough. It's 16 minutes or whatever it is, bloody hell. Sorry about that. But yeah, I'll be back again, and I'll start on a topic and try and stick to that topic, which is hard for me. I sort of ramble a bit and to go off on tangents and stuff, and that's just how I am, and that's okay. So thanks very much if you listen this far or watch this far. I'll probably post it up on Instagram as well, I think, maybe. We'll see what happens. Cheers. Catch you later.